Hey y'all, how are you? A new video will be coming about my 2023 stuff. But for now, I wanted to test the difference. For those of us who ordered Hobonichis, they came with a new sample of the new Sanzen Tomoe River paper. Sanzen is, I researched. So Sanzen is the company that purchased the Tomoe River paper. So they had it in the machine number 7. Well, that machine was being put out of commission, and they started with machine number 9. Now I have a notebook somewhere with that paper in it. That paper was crisper. It was harder. It was more wrinkly, crinkly, sharper sounding when you did the, test. All of us like, well, not all of us. There are a lot of us that like the crinkly from Tomoe River paper. Because the batch from the number 9 machine had mixed reviews, I guess they had there was maybe a bad batch or something. Sanzen, when they took it over, they have a paper and it's now called the Successor. And that's what this is the Successor. Now this is Sanzen Tomoe River paper. It is a notebook that I got from Danica58 with the Sanzen Tomoe River paper. I wrote down, and one of the things that I've noticed with the paper, and I don't know, it does feel thicker. The old does feel softer. If you hold it up to the light and you look through, like in the window in the sun or whatever, and you could actually look at the fibers. The fibers in this, believe it or not, are clumpier, whereas, the fibers in the old Tomoe River paper are clumpier. The fibers in the new are more even, but whenever you do this, this feels much different than this that we received from Hobonichi. So I'm not going to really go by this. Because I think this may be 68 GSM. I am not positive. I will look on Etsy and see what it said. But for now, I'm just going to put it to the side. And we are going to, this was back in January. There was a lot going on in January in our family. We had snow, and my brother had passed away the previous March. And his birthday was right around here, and there was so much going on. I didn't really journal in my A6. So I thought I'd find a piece of paper that had the same kind of coloring as this. And I could use, this is a crossfield. This is the B6 that I cut down. It's actually B6 Plus. I could use any number of these. So I think, because I know this is going to be blasphemy, but one of the things I was thinking is, I have these. So instead of doing this, because I already have writing on it, let's do this. Okay. Where are my scissors?
Okay, so we have about the same size.
Okay. Alright, so this is the old Tomoe River paper without the number on it. This, I'm going to put, I use this because it's technically, for me, it would be the 3rd version of this Tomoe River paper. This is the original. I would get the one that's from the number 9 batch, but they're not making that anymore, so it's not even relevant. But like I said, this is the 3rd version. So we're going to write Successor. We're going to write number 7 because that's the machine that it comes from. People were wondering about watercolor on the Tomoe River paper. I love my fountain pens and I love fountain pen ink, but I am not a fountain pen connoisseur. So what is important to me is not necessarily going to be important to someone else. To me, watercolor and regular writing, those are the things that are going to be important to me, because what I do on Tomoe River paper is journal. I art journal, I draw pictures, I watercolor, I will occasionally use a tiny bit of gouache, I write longhand, I use fountain pens, I use ballpoint pens, I use a number of different pens. So we're going to just for the sake of it, I'm going to use a couple of different pens. These are my art pens. This is the Hobonichi pen. This is the Uniball Eye, which I use a lot. This is my fountain pen. This is, I don't know which one. I have a thin one and I have the thicker one. I have, they're both vanishing points. One is a Decimo and one is just a vanishing point. So anyway, so we have a couple of different pens. I even have a flare. I don't need a lot of pens. I don't think we'll use a red one. We use that. I will use a fountain pen with some glittery ink. We're gonna write Tomoe River paper test. Tomoe River paper test. Okay. And here is my thinner one. You can see. Okay, so this is the Decimo. And the bigger, thicker one is just the vanishing point. Okay, we're gonna try blue ink and then black ink. So we're gonna put Hobo pen. Hobo pen. We're gonna draw a little notebook. Put this. I'm going to, okay. I already, this is, I already have that, so let's try something different. Okay. This is a jelly roll. Because I care about how the pens work. And we're going to write we're going to draw with the Uniball. I'll draw the weather. Okay. That gives us a pretty good idea of what we have. Now, even though that has writing, there is no bleed through on either page. Okay, so now let's see. What do we want to draw today? These are made to do with Tomoe River paper. Let's just see. I want to make sure that this is not going to end up being an issue. Okay. This is an Escoda Perla. It's the Barcelona Z. It's a number 8. Okay, that is waterproof. One of the things I draw a lot's the weather. So we'll make the sun here because today it's okay outside. Be glad when the weather cools off. We've got 90-something degree days next week. This week it's been in the 80s. Oh yeah, I'll be so glad when the weather cools off. Okay, so I draw the weather. I draw notebooks and pens and food and coffee cups and all kinds of things. And I thought, well, what could I draw? So I am working on Danny Gregory's. I'm going through the creative license book. So let's find something in here. Easy peasy to draw. Alright, so now we're going to use watercolor, and I probably should have chosen a smaller brush. We're going to move this over for convenience sake. And I need to draw the same thing on this, and we're going to use the same pen.
Oh, I messed up this one, but that's okay because it's got this line, so they don't have to look exactly the same. Should have been looking at Danny Gregory's picture instead of my own.
Alright, so I see a yellow base, so we're going to start with yellow. And then I see little bits of orange right here, around here, here, here.
We got here, 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 and here. Okay.
This is spread out a tiny bit. And this looks white right there. This looks white right there. Okay. This is a big white streak right there. I'll put a tiny bit of this yellow ochre in here because it has this weird, this needs to be a little bit more. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Dang it. Okay, so now we're going to paint the cloud. And I want to have some different things on here, so we're going to go with this color up here. Okay, now I want to use the color that... Alright, let's get a bigger brush. And then we'll try green. Alright, I'm going to let these dry and I will be back. And I'm also, I think, going to I don't know which one that might be from number 9. I'm not sure because that feels completely different from that. It's either way thicker and it's that number 9 batch, or it is 68 GSM, and it doesn't feel like 68 GSM to me. 68 GSM is a different ball game. This is 68 GSM. This is Odyssey paper. We'll see. I'll compare the two if I need to. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, so I am not really seeing very much of a difference at all. The new paper has sheen. It's showing the sparkle. This is that, I can't remember the name of it, from Daniel Smith. It's the purple. It's very similar to Moon Glow, but it is a genuine one. So it has like or it might be Moon Glow. It has a sparkle to it. I can't, I'd have to do the two together. I think it's Amethyst Genuine is what this one is. Based on what I'm looking at and the inks, I don't really see very much of a difference when it comes to watercoloring. I don't see very much of a difference when it comes to pens in general. But I am going to try one more thing with a fountain pen, and we're going to test this. I'm going to put this under here because this feels weird. So I'm going to do this. This is London Fog ink from Diatramentis. And I am going to hold it up. So this is a shimmering ink, and I can see the glitter in it in both versions. Just like I can see the shimmer from the watercolor in both versions. Now, the green that I have here, it's one of those ones from Daniel Smith that has, it looks like it has two different colors in it. It's really pretty. I can't remember the actual color, but it's gorgeous on here, and it really picks up on the new one. I don't think I put enough down on this one to notice the difference here, because I think I put a little bit more there. I am seeing the granulation, the difference in this. I think I put a little bit more down here than I did here, so that's normal. Now, as you can see, I pressed a little too hard here. Let me press a little bit harder here. I think I went over a couple of places twice, or 3 or 4 times maybe. But I'm seeing it right here. You can't see it because of the lettering, but I can see it starting to really ghost. You can see a couple of little marks right there. I really believe, now we have one more test, because I didn't do any colored pencils, and I know there are people out there who like colored pencils. So we're going to try the colored pencils, and I got my Faber-Castell Polychromos out, so we did not really do, like I did the red, that came out pretty well. We're going to try this. I'm going to have to do it on this same surface, because I wanted to see if it would pick up. And it is. I really don't see very much of a difference at all for those of us who aren't fountain pen connoisseurs, like with the different inks and all of that. There are some ink artists out there, and that may make a difference with the new Tomoe River paper that's going to be in the Hobonichis come 2024. But for the rest of us who are journalers, who are more into the art on the Hobonichi pages, and who use a variety of pens, I don't think, and art mediums, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference at all. Said if I were going by a test, see there, it's starting to come through right there. But I pressed really hard with that pen. I think it turned out really well, the test. I'm really happy with it. I don't think, as somebody who has been a lover of Hobonichi and Tomoe River paper since 2015, when I very first got my hands on some, the very first paper that I got that was Tomoe River paper, I believe, was a standard, which is the blank Tomoe River paper journal from Nanami Paper 7 Seas collection. And that has no lines, no dots, no grid, no anything. And I love the paper. I do, for me personally, prefer the more white. I'm not a real big fan of the cream Tomoe River paper. I don't like cream paper. The 68 GSM paper is not really changing. I have tried the Cosmic Light. I tried the number 9 version of the Tomoe River paper, which was very much crisper. It had a different crinkle and everything. It was very different, but I enjoyed that paper. It just, from a fountain pen person, it wasn't nearly as wonderful as the regular Tomoe River paper, the old version. So I'm quite happy with it. I'm going to continue with the paper myself. I will be purchasing most likely a Hobonichi cousin in 2024. I do have a Hobonichi cousin. I'm also getting the B6 Common Planner from Sterling Ink. When that comes in, I'll let y'all know. I'll show you that. I'll do a review and we'll try some art and stuff on that paper. Like I said, this is the Odyssey. And I didn't do any, yesterday I was so busy filming and editing, I didn't do anything. So what I did do yesterday, however, was some journaling and some watercolor and stuff like that. I did acrylic stuff. So I'm going to draw the palette. And I'm just going to put watercolors on there so we can get an idea. But this is the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, and I honestly have not had any problems with the Odyssey notebooks other than the cover. The paper on the soft cover is a little too thin. It's the same thing that happened with this notebook. If you can see that wrinkle, it didn't want to sit in my folios. So I'm thinking I might glue that page together and we'll see if it does better with that. This was a journal. And I didn't finish it because every time I turned around it was coming out of the folio and doing this wrinkly thing. I don't know, it was like I was constantly fidgeting with it and I can't stand something that I'm fidgeting with. So we're just going to take the colors that are here. I'm not going to do this verbatim. This is that purple shimmery. And then we're going to do this right here. So we're going to let that dry and then I'll be back because this is 68 GSM Tomoe River paper and this is actually more for the art, and I'll let you know what I think about that. This is for the most part dry enough, and I went ahead and wrote some notes because even though this is today, I have the priority things listed in the B6 planner, and then I will go through and write. What I wanted to show you is I did that on purpose. It did have just a tiny bit of glow stain. This is the 68 GSM. So what we're going to talk about are the differences that I did after really looking at them up close. And my shimmering ink, which is in this. So this is Blue Lightning by Diamond. And then the London Fog is by Diatramentis. What I noticed is that I was talking earlier about how if you looked at the fibers, if you looked at the pieces of paper through the sunshine, this has more, the old version has clumpier fibers. These are more even. This makes this a bit toothier. And the drying time is slightly different. And I think because of that, you have the shading is a bit different with the pen. So let's see. I have a dip pen somewhere. Okay, y'all, I think that pretty much covers all of it. So, y'all let me know what y'all think. And I will see y'all again really soon. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a good day, and I hope you found this interesting. Bye, y'all.